This is the John Hallett Podcast with John Hallett.
Because the way we're living, we need to change it, make it change today. And all learn from failure. Maybe they just wanted it a little bit more than you. That's probably the fact.
And now your host, John Hallett.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. We are live today on Facebook. We'll be posting this out if you need to re-listen on YouTube on Sundays as usual. Joined with me today is Josh. How you doing, Josh?
Oh, I'm good, my friend. I'm good. Here, let me bring up my camera here. I'm exhausted. If you guys can't tell, he's been putting me to work all morning this morning.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Doing a little bit of grappling for concealed carry. If you guys are out there, you know anybody that carries a firearm, it is a different discipline. I've been doing stand-up and grappling fighting for way too many years. And what I thought of my concealed carry and my grappling skills thought would be enough. It is really its own discipline. That's something Todd Fossey says from IDS. It is, you need grappling skills. You need hand-to-hand skills. You can't always use your firearm.
No.
That's something that scares me a lot. As a firearm owner, is just people being untrained and going to that gun when they're not justified to go for that gun. But man, it is difficult. I got to tell you, it is its own discipline, and I think a lot of talk is cheap unless you want to train and you've got ideas. You got to put them to the test. You've got to be doing that stuff. Yeah. There's just no substitute.
Yeah, and you realize how quickly a gun can come out in a grapple situation, and it's terrifying. Like you're not only thinking about the grapple and the fight coming, now you're thinking about that gun, and I'm glad we're playing with it in a scenario like this, and that's why we offer IDS. That way we can train folks before see it 1,000 times here before you have to see it once out there, and it blows me away. And it doesn't matter your skill level, because sometimes all you need is one bad move, and
yeah, there's patterns in movement from Krav Maga and stand-up fighting and BJJ and wrestling that aren't the right pattern for somebody with a gun. Mm-hmm. You just get used to flowing and being able to move, and all that stuff is great, but it can put you in a bad position with the gun, and that's the scary part. That if you're really serious about carrying your firearm and your self-defense, it's its own discipline. I am glad I found IDS, because I was with IDS. I'm like, I can grapple, I can stand up, I can keep somebody off me, but there's things that you have to do when you're just thinking retention that is just so different, and even different sweeps put your gun exposed and at risk. So just those patterns that you're doing in your everyday rolling, your everyday stand up can put you in a bad position. A lot of Krav Maga positions put you in a compromised position. You got to be able to transfer to a different position, or transition is what I was looking for. So definitely it's its own discipline. Don't fool yourself. I love when I talk to anybody out there. It is my passion, but they want to talk about it. They're going to say what they're going to do, but they don't test it. If you're not training, it's just a load of crap. It's just a bunch of theory.
Yeah.
And even if you are skilled, your skills are perishable.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't done anything, great. It's been, I feel rusty as can be in a week or two. And I think it just compounds from there. You miss 2 weeks of training, everything's just doubling after that.
Yeah. A knife gets dull after a while, right?
Yeah.
You got to be constantly sharpening. Hey, I just want to give a shout out to Kafona Sports for saying hi, and we'd like to do that. And just thanks for tuning in today. We appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, throw them our way. It's going to be kind of a grapple day, and it's crazy discipline, John. Doing your Krav with you, and then getting into the grapple, and then changing the mindset, right, from like a fight to a gunfight. There's so many legalities involved, right? You're always telling me and our students, think like a district attorney. And that's really what you have to do, right? When am I justified to go to that weapon and stuff like that? And grappling, it becomes so ambiguous. You got me on one where you just brushed the firearm in one of those scenarios where I'm like, you're the person that needs help, right? And then you brushed over it, and then you went at me, and it's like, am I justified?
And yeah, that was the one I said, oh, if somebody had a cell phone video, it did not look like anybody was grabbing or making a play for your gun.
Right.
You just got shaky, and it's, I hate to use the word justified, but yeah, it's a normal reaction to get a little, whoa, that was really close to my gun. Mm-hmm. But then you reaching for your gun and drawing that gun, that's where I was like, whoa, buddy, what are you doing, man? We were in a fist fight. Like, whoa, settle down.
My reaction was, what? What do you mean? What? What did I do?
Yeah,
what did I do?
Like, the cell phone video might really look compromising to you, that it was really a brush against the gun. It was not a grab. Now, that could let that guy know that you did have a firearm on you, and something could have come after that. And of course, your retention and everything else right after that moment needed to be on, because it could have signaled him to say, whoa, that guy's got a gun. I think I felt something. But, that's really tough.
Right.
Because we're in here and going, at some point, try to take my gun.
Mm-hmm.
The bad guy out there doesn't know you have a gun. They probably wouldn't have picked a fight with you if you knew you had the gun. And obviously it would be a really stupid thing to say. It'd be like, hey, buddy, back off. I have a gun.
Right, because now you're giving up our concealment, right?
Now you just gave away. And I think that's just stupid anyways. I have a gun.
But it opened my eyes, man. You were right. You're like, not everything is somebody going for your gun. It could just be an accident. And, how's that change the whole scenario? And then that's what you've been throwing at me a lot lately, is just a whole bunch of different scenarios, which, I tip my hat to you and the rest of the crew. It's, thinking that stuff out before we see it. And it just makes you think, right? Because really we're teaching people how to fight, but we're teaching them how to think.
Yes. Because that's one thing I always feel like students want an answer, and you're asking a contextual situation. Like, everyone is going to be different. They're not all the same. And sometimes they want a definite answer. And, a lot of times I'm like, the fight's on from there. The fight's on. You need those skills. And I feel people, like, no matter what it is, but maybe it's self-defense, but they always want, the hard and fast answer.
In the moment.
Well, what should I do here? Well, the other person's going to do something. If you counter a BJJ move, they're going to transition to something else. It's not like you're automatically out. Do you beat them to the punch, so to speak, and be able to sink that choke in, or that lock, whatever you're going for. You're going for a Kimura. Like, are you able to lock it in before? That's the fight. And that's, the problem that every one of us can lose on any given day. It's kind of something that's driving me crazy on YouTube comments of our women's videos on, especially our ClearSky channel. I know you're putting them out. I really manage the ClearSky channel, so I'm on that more. You could speak better to RMSDF. But these guys that are like, this isn't going to work, it's a smaller female, and I'm like, well, okay, I work out, but there's still bigger, stronger guys. What am I supposed to say? Like, well, that guy's bigger and stronger than me. He's got 200 pounds plus on his deadlift. He's got 50 pounds of body weight, blah, blah, blah. What are you supposed to say? Give up? Roll over? Play dead?
No.
You can't do that.
And there's some women out there that can fight. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've had my butt kicked by Jamie in here just playing around. And it's like, everybody's an opponent. I don't care about their size. It's all about skill.
Yeah, and at any given day, I think I commented to somebody, I'm like, two people step into the octagon in the UFC, and they're training for it, and their weight classes are matched up. One of them loses. Guys, there's winning and losing out there. There's life and death. Train as hard as you can. Be as capable as you can be with what you have.
Absolutely.
But that reminds, like, maybe we can just pick up the audio. So this is super funny.
Okay.
So I was going to say roll over and play dead.
If you got that second mic, you can get it close.
Let me find it.
Yeah, hey, while you're talking about that, so there were some comments. We put up a post about how learning is done slow. And it's true. Like, you learn slow by doing slow things. That way your body can figure it out. And it's like the good guy, bad guy scenario that John creates here. And one guy in the comments was like, yeah, this is all great, but you've got to train for speed. And in my head, I'm thinking, it's training, but we're learning here. Learn and train. And then you can take it up to the speed level that you want, because you got to learn it first. You just can't start throwing super fast stuff at a whole bunch of new students. I mean, it's not going to work. Even advanced users like John still does stuff slow to figure it out. And once he has it, then you're into the train speed, right? It's just everybody's got this opinion, and they've all got opinions on the internet. And
oh god,
half the time it's just like, you want to tell them to shut up.
Everybody's got the answer. I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, fight's on in so many scenarios. So you should have an email. Let me know when you have it. You can bring it up on the screen, because it's funny. But you just gotta fight and train. There's always somebody better than you. You've got to be as capable as you can. You can't, if you're in a mindset that you want to train, go out and find a gym, no matter where you're at. I'll always try to point people in directions if they're looking for Krav Maga or any other gym as an old student, or if you're out there on the internet and you want some advice on, Krav Maga studios, they lost a trademark. There's good and bad out there, and there's always been different levels of trainers out there. I mean, that's something we get here at RMSDF, that people, well, we want you're 4th degree, and I'm like, I hate to say it, but sometimes it's way over my pay grade to be I love teaching beginners. I love it. You don't own a gym unless you like teaching beginners. But I've got very, very capable instructors that all have so many more hours than I did when I started. Like our original gangster picture from back on Nantucket that we just put up in the front desk area. Man, I had 40-ish plus hours. It's probably more than 40 hours. And I started teaching Krav Maga. Like, my instructors have so many more hours of that. And, there's all sorts of different ones out there. It should be a video link if that's what you're asking me, Josh.
The teaching kids about, and it's a bear one.
It's a bear, yeah, it's a bear.
Okay, I think I.
But there's so much difference out there in instructor quality from any gym. Mm-hmm. From the top down, there's just so much. But it's one thing. It's like Jamie brought it to my attention that. There was another gym, like expert self-defense or something like that, expert, fighting specialist. And I'm like, oh God, I mean, the guy's a nice guy. I'm not quite sure. Actually, I got a little annoyed yesterday. That's why I'm talking about it now, that I'm like, you called me and acted like you wanted to come back here, but you were looking for information because you switched gyms. And now you're an instructor at another gym. I got to tell you, you wouldn't have been an instructor here. Super nice guy. But to be called an expert, right, John? I'm like, I wouldn't call myself an expert in anything. Don't shake your head. My wife might say I'm an expert.
Yeah, the reason I train with you is because you are highly skilled in your profession. But I do consider you an expert, man. You've got answers for everything when we're training, and it's a compliment. It's not a derogatory term. I know you don't do it because you've always got that I'm always learning mentality.
Yeah, you will never see
everything you do.
You will never see expert anything on our website because we're all training to suck less. I don't know. It annoys me maybe because he was trying to milk me for information. If you want information from me, give me a call. I'll consult with your gym. Whatever, if you need help or if you're just a local one. I reached out to just about everybody over COVID. When I first moved to Castle Rock, I reached out to everybody in the martial arts, and only one person sat down and had coffee with me. They're now gone. Yeah, only one. She was a ATA Taekwondo. Yeah. Over actually maybe the unit next to her. She was next to Action Firearms. Shout out to Andrew and Action Firearms here in Castle Rock. They were in that little strip mall right there. She was the only one that reached out to me and returned my, I don't know, probably email or call. I don't know what I did 18 years ago. But I just think it's a load of nonsense. Like Grand Poobah, specialist, blah, blah, blah. 20th degree black belt. There's so many levels of training, but that annoys me. And it's even like the word master. I don't like the word master. And I got that, again, like from my father. Like people would call him a master carpenter, and he's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, you're a master. And he's like, no, I'm not. And, was he better than a lot of carpenters? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'd go and help guys that were in a lurch. I can think of one story, because a crane on Nantucket Island cost a ton of money. Everything on Nantucket is a ton more expensive because, labor and the cost of living, and just getting a crane over the island, or now, they had them, but if somebody purchased a crane, so we were helping our friend Dewey Jones, awesome guy, over there. He's probably still in business, maybe, over on Nantucket, and we were helping him build one of his shops, and we went and I forget what I was giving him. We needed to borrow some equipment, some staging or something, and he's like, hey, we have to get these trusses up. We're not even close. Can you call your father? Can you guys help us out? So I get on the phone, and of course my dad's like, yeah, we'll help out Dewey. And so he rolls up. Nantucket's only 10 minutes away at the most, 5 minutes probably. Mm-hmm. And we started framing without nail guns. And we started framing. Well, they're down the other end. Their whole crew, they probably had 5 guys, and the two of us are framing. And of course, I worked with my dad since I was a little tiny kid, and we're just not talking, just boom, boom, hammers. And this college kid that was working for Dewey over the summer comes over and goes, "You guys are awesome. Can I be on your crew? Because my crew sucks." He's like, "You guys are beating us with hammers. Every guy over there has nail guns." And that was something my dad taught me. You got to have the fundamentals, right? You got to know how to use your tools of the trade. And that's where I'm always fundamentals. And in fighting, you've got to have the fundamentals. You got to be people oh, you don't want to do the fundamentals. I'm so good. I'm like, you got to do those things just over and over again, where you get this kid that knows nothing. We were in a lumberyard one time, part of the lumberyard storage sheds got blown over, and a northeaster blew it down, and we were framing that, and our air hoses were getting kind of trashed with all the trucks just driving over. The parking lot was kind of crappy asphalt, because there's another expensive thing on Nantucket. So we were just doing it with hammers, and I had this old carpenter that I didn't know come up to me and go, "Son, you can swing that hammer like I haven't seen anybody swing a hammer in a long time." For a kid your age, right? Everybody, for years. My dad was probably using nail guns before I was born, but he was always like, your air compressor goes down, and you got to know how to use your hammer. Yeah. So he was never, I'm a master. So it just bugs me. I'm just like, be humble, train hard. Yeah. There's tons of good people out there, but, I'm like, whatever.
It's good to have the humility, right? Because it doesn't take much to get humbled when you're just even practicing with your students or the people around you.
Falls from grace, Mike Tyson, Conor McGregor. It's all, any of us can lose on any given day. So
that's why we train.
That's why we just do it over and over again. Yeah. So you got that bear?
Yeah, I should have it here. I'm going to put it over top and get this audio going here, and I'll hit play here so people can see it.
Experience. But
I can't hear it, unfortunately.
Always has to come first.
I didn't have my
In this
headphones.
video, we'll look at the story of a family of 5 who enjoyed spending time outdoors.
Josh
together. The parents
is this
and
the right
the
one?
very
It's probably,
young
if you brought up the
children
video.
and
Yeah, I'm playing it over
adventures
Can
top.
you play Dead now?
But having a black bear
Yeah, just let him listen.
Yeah.
with their courage, endurance, and knowledge to test. With danger so close by, Brighton and Michael Peachy showed some real parenting skills.
Okay, it's going through.
It was the beginning of June 2022.
Now they're going through the whole
Bright and
story.
peachy,
This thing's
a
long.
lifestyle
Oh, yeah, cut
influencer
it. I'm
and
sure.
nature lover
It's a
from
long one.
Utah.
It's not the short.
Yeah, sorry, and I
sent you
couldn't
this
shoot it
short.
up like that. It's
But yeah, that little kid's super cute. Can we play dead yet? Can we play dead yet?
Did they
Obviously,
really
right,
play
they're up
dead
in
with
Canada.
that brown bear?
I couldn't quite tell.
I mean,
I think it's a black bear. There's another one that says it's a black bear. It looks like an interview with them, but I guess they're up like maybe near Whistler is what I heard from this. And of course, where did I find it? Joe Rogan was talking to Pauly Shore about... No, it wasn't Pauly Shore. It was the guy, I can't pronounce his name, the astrophysicist or some physicist.
Avi Loeb?
No, he's been on the show a ton before. Super smart guy. But they were just talking about virtual reality and where we could go. And, you know, are humans in 1,000 years going to be human? Are they going to be integrated with all this stuff? And Joe was kind of saying, you still know if it was virtual reality, like, you wouldn't be as scared as being out there in nature because you know you're in virtual reality. Because does it kind of seem real, right? People walking into walls, but that's totally different to be face to face with a bear versus, you know, a generated AI experience. But that little boy's obviously been trained by his parents. They're up in Canada, and you know, if a bear gets close, we're gonna play dead. But he's all excited, right?
Can we play dead now?
Can we play dead now?
It's like,
Can we play dead
there's
now?
a bear coming.
It's not time to play dead yet. Keep walking slowly.
Yeah, we got to that part in there, and
it's so cute.
But that's the training they know and what they went with and what they taught their kids, which is even crazier, right? Because what you learn, you teach your kids. And your kids learn everything from you. I've made the mistake of saying words around my nephews that they suddenly not only repeated, but repeated very well.
Yeah.
And it's like, oops. And then their parents are like, what did you teach them?
Yeah, what did you say? Where did they hear that? It's always the best one when the kids are like, where did you hear that? Your father. Like, it's a Christmas story.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he blames his buddy.
Right.
And wow. Like, dude, it's obviously the dad. You're like, parent, like, it's obviously.
Right.
I remember my son, like, God damn it. He, like.
You're like, whoa.
And adults at his age, it was just super cute and funny, so he got a laugh. So then he would always be like, being saying something and like just like, God damn it, and like adults would just like crack
right,
up.
And then it reinforces that when you should
And
be
then
like,
you got a joke, right? You're a
I
comedian,
know.
like you gotta laugh. Like who doesn't like to get a laugh?
I said the word BS, or this food tastes like BS or something like that, and my little nephew Beckett looks up to me and he goes, yeah, it's BS. I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
It's perfect.
I just wanted to get him pancakes, you know? Now he's learning new words.
Yeah. So, hey, if you want to support this podcast and us doing this BS, I've got the shirt on. I don't know if you can see that okay, Josh? Yep. Don't be a gunfighter, be a fighter with a gun.
Great shirt.
You can get that on KravMaga-online.com. We've got a ton of gear on there. I don't know if I've added an IDS tab to it yet. I got a gazillion
I haven't seen
things I need to do, but it is on there. I've got to get on there and do something hopefully today, but today's a busy day. But we also have our ClearSky-online.com store as well, and you can do online training with us at ClearSky.Training. That's its own domain, .training. .com. So that's why one I took because I couldn't get ClearSky.com. So ClearSky.Training is our online portal. We're going to have a new Suck Less PDF coming out, and I probably put a little video to that little download, but there's a ton of stuff in there. We're trying to make it as affordable because we know there's just a ton of stuff that you guys could choose from out there. I mean, it is just inundated with stuff. So if you'd like to help support the podcast, help support the gym, you know, get some gear off of that online store. There's a bunch of new stuff on there. We're throwing on there from slides to there's some pint glasses on there. And if you've got a suggestion for something that that you want, there's coffee cups on there. So
I drink a lot of coffee.
Get them there. So
hey, I like those new pictures behind you.
Yeah,
cool.
we updated. I forgot to say that when we first. I'm glad you reminded me because I'm not looking at myself because I don't like doing it.
Hey, no one likes looking at you, but we're just gonna go with it.
Yeah,
Same with me, though.
Yeah, who wants to do that?
Because one of those pictures, you look like you're about 22, 23 off
which
your
one
left
do we
shoulder.
got?
Left shoulder. The small one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one there, I'm like, wow, John is...
Yeah, that's super... Well, it's still probably... Well, it's
where are
hard
you
to
at
say.
there?
I'm pretty sure this is the gym that was at my house on Meadowview Drive on Nantucket. I'm pretty sure that's the canvas wall that we had that I was just telling you, because we just updated one of our walls to add a wrestling wall.
Which is
downstairs really cool. Is all padded. Maybe I was gonna make a post for that, but we're waiting to get it logoed. I'm always like, I want it to be perfect. Take a picture of it, but I do have a good picture of Jamie Braden, Bryson, and young Michael helping glue it up and hold the stuff as we were screwing it to the wall up there. But yeah, that one's maybe... I built that house when I was 21.
Oh, that's the house, huh?
Well, I had a little... I could find some pictures of... I had a little workshop that I used.
Oh, really?
To build the house, and then I love woodworking. It's something that I'd love to get back into. My garage now, my wife, I'm like, get me a bigger garage if you feel like, every time you walk into the garage, the little garage, we've got one of those little, the 2-car garage, and the third bay is kind of off. And it's kind of nice, because we've had the other, like, deep garage. That was all right.
Yeah, those are kind of cool.
But it's just too small. Right,
Yeah.
It's like a 1-car. It's not an oversized, stupid track home. But I need a bigger. I'd like to have a bigger shop, even because that one was still deeper than my garage. It was wider, so it made a great shop. Of course, like every shop could be bigger if you're doing woodworking. But Nantucket space is a premium. I converted it from a workshop into a little dojo. Padded the floor, put I got this awesome wood. I think it was apple.
Really?
I believe, I think it was apple.
Did you stain it or just coat it?
Oh, no, I left it natural. Just, natural urethane over it. Like a bunch of sections of that were urethane, where the apple wall was really cool. But then as things got bigger and I was renting and it got harder to rent space, I was... going from a dance studio to Nantucket Health Club, back and forth for kids and adults. So I built a cottage on my property with the long term, hey, it's an investment. Somebody can make it into a 2-bedroom cottage, but we just had a waiting area and a bathroom changing room, and then the rest of the cottage was just training floor. So that was in that building. So I'm thinking around mid-20s.
Somewhere in there,
Yeah, maybe 28.
For those of you at home, it's John. He's got 3 of his really young students.
Can they see that on the...
They can kind of see it now when you move your camera, yeah.
Can they see that picture?
Yeah, they can see it over your shoulder. No, you got to move it back now so we can see you. But it's for the audio podcast, it's... John looks like he's fresh out of
and that's
training.
A younger one. Yeah, that's young. There's another one that's going to go up downstairs. We didn't quite finish, but...
So the memories flood back when you start looking at some of those old photos?
Well, it just goes back, time goes so fast.
I know.
And just the different people that go through your gym is always like, you're like, oh my gosh, that person moved. Whatever happened to different people. Sometimes people ghost you.
It happens. It's gym life.
Even, it's that whole, my wife being an HR consultant, it's great, but God, I had a automation that I ran yesterday, just trying to touch base. I crafted a text message to go out, and I'm going to now shoot it out to everybody that meets certain qualifications in our system, different tags. Josh has got a tag in his that Jamie gave it to you, so he's tagged with a certain thing. So
you never know what
he won't
done.
get any cool kid alerts.
What?
So I just send it out, and it's like, merge first name.
Yeah.
Well, this person's name was typoed. It just didn't have an E at the end of her name.
Yeah.
I don't know who typoed. Actually, Justin from that just walked out from 6 a.m. Peaceful Warrior, bought a SIRT pistol and did it on it. He created a new profile accidentally. he actually typoed his name, and I merged it. I merged the profile so we could see the record of his invoice instead of deleting that profile. You got to merge them. He's like, hey, my name's all of a sudden spelt wrong. I'm like, oh yeah, I noticed that on your cert pistol. It was spelt wrong. I'm like, Justin spelled his name wrong. I should give him a hard time. But then he's like, hey, my name's spelled wrong. I'm like, we just merged it. Well, this lady, I don't know if I left it up, but as a gym owner, you have to deal with so much. And you're just like, oh my gosh, that she called me a liar. I don't know if I can find
Yikes. All right. Well, no names. Let's not.
No, I was going to, I just wanted to find that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to use it.
People get bent out of shape.
I leave people in there just in case they do contact me back.
Sure.
But we just tag them that I don't think they're a good fit for our gym. So, long story, she called me a liar. Nobody would typo, autocorrect would fix that. And I'm like, it was an honest mistake.
Right. Sorry.
I wasn't it was a mail merge essentially for anybody that's done a mail merge. We just did it with a text message, and she's calling me a liar. And, I told you I would reach out to you. Don't contact me. I'm like, hey, just trying to respark the conversation. You haven't contacted me.
Right.
I'm just reaching out to you.
We're still a business.
Trying to motivate you. If you don't want to be contacted, then unsubscribe. But she called me a liar, and I do not like being called a liar whatsoever. I'm like, honest mistake. Mm-hmm. Hey, just so you know, you've been removed from our system. I unsubscribed her so she won't get anything, but also tagged her as like, I don't think this person's a good fit. Like, geez, settle. Like, calling somebody a liar, blah. I'm like, you don't sound like a good fit. So
I'm totally new to the gym life. As it is.
Yeah, like as a gym owner, it's
oh my gosh.
not, you've got to be able to teach.
Yeah.
But then you have managing, which a lot of people can't handle that side of it. Dealing with people, I just ran into a gym. Well, I guess they're a kid. They're not a gym, but at a graduation. No, it was a 16th birthday party. We're in graduate. We have a graduation party this weekend.
Oh, that's the time of year.
He's like, hey, he does a kids thing. Here in Castle Rock, I'll give him a shout out. The Kids Landing, or what is it called? Up by Target. Kids Landing, I think is what it's called.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
He owns that, and just, wow. I'm like, yeah. Like, owning a small business, it's not easy from employees and people. It's tough. So it's not as easy as you kind of think. Everybody kind of goes into it for the passion, but you've got to run a business. Otherwise, you don't have your passion. So if you'd like to help support my passion, Prestige Labs, guys, is fantastic supplements. I see even my stepkids buying crap because some influencer was saying to buy this protein. Prestige Labs is supplements by a gym owner for gym owners only. Because if you know the business, and it's even like what you brought out, we've got great Mountain Ops bars. We've got some new flavors coming here at RMSDF. But Prestige Labs, you can go on to KravMaga-online.com and you can get to our supplements tab. Anybody can buy it at our gym discount. Fantastic supplements. I take the Test Boost, the protein, the BCAAs, which is called Intra, but you can't buy it somewhere else. That's where, like Mountain Ops, you can go get it at Tractor Supply and Murdoch's.
Walmart, everywhere.
Yeah, Prestige Labs was a gym owner that went and partnered with, I'm going to forget his name, Dr. Kashi. They came up with supplements that Dr. Kashi was using for his Olympic trainer, training combat sport athletes, all sorts of stuff. And what he was giving them, they merged a bunch of this. So you can't go out and get the Intra in some other form because it's its own blend.
And it
so it's for gym owners. Like Mountain Ops, like, I can just go get it here. You can't get Prestige Labs. You can get it on Prestige Labs and pay full price, or you can go and visit our website, and everything is discounted for our gym. So gym owners know that. It's like Fit Aid. I love Fit Aid. My wife drinks way more Fit Aid than I do. I do a lot more than Prestige Labs because it's, Fit Aid's great and super easy. But, they launched with CrossFit gyms and functional fitness gyms, and then they got huge, and now you can buy it in Safeway. And blah, blah, blah. And they make it super enticing and discounting it for people to buy it off their website and subscribe and save. And now they're cutting out the people that started them. I mean, we had several members who are like, oh, I just ordered it off there. I started a subscription. I got this free thing. I get this free thing. And I'm like, oh, dude, I would have hooked you up, with a discount.
Sure.
Or, we get points with them, blah, 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 and you can get a t-shirt. Every once in a while, I'll give somebody a t-shirt. We just gave out a bunch of water bottles from Fit Aid. So, Prestige Labs, guys, fantastic stuff. I have tested this stuff, placebo effect, and gone off of it and done nothing. It's some really good, high quality, from the protein to the test boost to the multivitamin. All really good stuff. They've got some weight loss stuff. If Josh told me I don't need that, but they've got great that doesn't have caffeine in the AM and PM burn. There's some great stuff. So if you want to support us, check that out. Give it a try. Some good stuff. We've had some people like, don't eat it on an different things. Don't take it on an empty stomach. And if you read the label, I've powered through with my intermittent fasting, but I've retrained myself now to do what I would have done in the morning. I just do it now when I end my fast. It's like making a routine. And I'm like, I think there's too much stuff in the kitchen area, so I'm like, all right, back up to my bathroom, and I will occasionally forget in the afternoon. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta go grab my supplements and just make it a routine, like anything else, right? Whatever you're doing. It's hard to start. You just have to start, guys. And
I wasn't a big supplements person, but
I'm not a big.
But when you got me on it, I mean, I felt a real difference.
I'm always
especially
like trying to eat real food.
Yeah.
But you're training at a high level. You're training a lot.
You don't realize you need it. That's the craziest part, is you don't realize you need it and how much better you feel after you've had some of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the recovery time. Hey man, I'm over 40, so the recovery time. It sucks.
Yeah, I think the older you get, having a good multivitamin and all that stuff is really important. So check that out, guys. But yeah,
genuinely works.
What were we talking about before you made me go to commercial break?
I don't know. I was getting really fine. I was really enjoying the Prestige Labs talk, but
yeah,
we were just kind of talking. We had that picture on there of you teaching in the early days.
Oh yeah, and just different groups that come through, and even Tina. I'm like, God, I don't take a lot of pictures at 5:30 a.m. We just did a great one. It was Jenny's call, like, hey, take that picture of Tina and Emily. That's a great shot for social media. Then I had Mark, who's a longtime member. I'm like, Mark, jump in to where the two girls were sitting. Again, leaning back to back. They're like, let's support each other after a workout. And they were just leaning on each other, sitting on a box. And I had Mark jump in the picture. But, getting groups and all that stuff can be hard. And even somebody was like, hey, who is Ninja Boy in one of these pictures? And Ninja Boy, I have tons of Ninja Boy stories. He's no longer, he's probably over 30 now, or at least.
Who's Ninja Boy? What is this?
Ninja Boy, and actually I'm like, that's Ninja Boy right there by the IDS targets in the locker room. He's got my son doing a Turkish getup with my son.
Yes.
Up over, I'm like, that's Ninja Boy.
I was always wondering
as a boy, he was still in high school then.
He was strong.
But finding pictures is so hard. A lot went into what we're trying to do here, just add a little bit more community feel into the gym with all these pictures. We've got, it's been quite the project, from just finding the pictures, paying for the pictures and frames, and now Jamie and I putting them up. It's a project, but I think it really adds a good feel. But just looking for pictures, and
50 frames.
I try now as best I can to tag, like Josh 2023 or this something that you can try, a Project Fit group, and you can try to search your computer for Project Fit group But so many things are just the numbers on there, and it's hard. I'm still working on level 2 IDS video that I shot of trying to say what's in the video and name it, so all the IDS instructors, can use that as a reference to go back in on something and make it as convenient as you can. Just the amount of time that stuff takes. But yeah, pictures are great, and it definitely brings back old memories and trying to remember somebody's name that's was 20 years ago. Or,
yeah, you're going through there. Is that
and even sometimes people were just in the gym. They were like, "There's a great picture of Jenny and Brandon." Brandon's one of our Project Fit coaches. Jenny's my wife, and we were doing a outdoor day at the Mac, doing the incline.
Nice.
And it's a great picture. And the two other people in the picture, I think she went into the FBI. She did the FBI Academy or something, but she only trained with us for a month, maybe 2, and her husband was trying Project Fit. And I think he did 2 or 3 classes at 4, and they end up it's a great picture, but they weren't in the gym long. But it's a great picture of 2 of the coaches in the gym. So hey, they made the wall. But it's mainly about, hey, it's a great picture of these 2 coaches with the incline back behind them in there, and just sorting through is always tough. So
and it brings back all those floods of memories. Plus, it shows the people that make up the gym, right? I mean, gyms are made of people that you end up teaching, and it's always cool to go back and see the story, because there's always a story behind a picture. Every time I point to a picture, John's like, oh yeah, this is the time that this happened, or this is when I was at this point in my life. I was teaching Taekwondo here, and then I'm teaching Krav here, and I don't know, I love seeing those things. Old pictures always bring back those memories, and I just think it's a lot of fun to go back and check them all out.
Yeah, even there's one that we put up going up to the upstairs loft room where the women train a lot, where we've got it set up for IDS, small group training. There's a group from pepper spray and taser training, whatever, I forget what we called it, in there, talks, or I don't know what we called that seminar. But just going through and fighting through pepper spray, getting, what's the experience of getting hit with a taser. And there was a guy in there that he actually got the tag of never contact, but he was really trying to bribe me for a belt. I mean, he was
he
a
did
problem
what? No,
student.
No, hold on. He tried to bribe you for a belt?
Yes. If he took, he wasn't eligible, because I always tell people that's the minimum. 20 classes minimum to get, and he was over yet. He was well over yellow belt. Maybe it was camo or green or something.
Wait, he wasn't trying to get a black belt? It was just
no, it wasn't a black belt. No.
Okay, because if I'm going to try to bribe for something, I'm going to try to bribe all the way to the top.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think everybody else in the gym would be like, well, how'd you go from camo belt to black belt? But I'm like, that's the minimum number of classes. It's the minimum, and the minimum time requirement in training. That people are like, well, I did 44 classes in a month. Well, fantastic. You still need another 5 months of training because you did that in 1 month. You need 6 months of time at that level of training, which people don't. You need that maturity, that time in training. So he was trying to, well, what if I do private lessons? What if I do a couple? Does that, count? I'm like, it's still not the time. I could consider 4 hours of private training as 4 classes, but it's not making up for the lack of time in the grade. And he was a problem student. He's every martial. He was a problem. I would deal with him. Some of the more inexperienced instructors would have a hard time, and also they're teaching for me, and they don't want a guy, have the student come back and say, Josh said this or whatever, or was mean to me or whatever. But sometimes you just have to put people in their place. This is my floor. I'm teaching. Your what if does not matter, and whatever you're saying doesn't matter now. People aren't paying to do a class with you. So I told them, I think it's a good time to part ways. I don't think you're a good fit for the gym. I don't think you're a good fit. So
Yeah.
we actually put a white circle over his face. That's borrowed from Todd Fosse. That I think he just blacked some people out. But Jamie was like, it might, get on the glass or the plastic on the frame and smudge it. And so we're like, oh, we got these circle tags from the pro shop. Let's just put a circle tag over his face. I should have put a smiley face. Maybe we'll take it down.
Maybe you should there.
I said, I wish we had emoji faces, and then we could do like clown face.
Well, emoji stickers.
Oh, can we get an emoji? We gotta write that stuff
down, right?
Clown, like
emoji stickers.
Not that we have a lot of people that need a clown sticker, but
hey, I don't want to hear it. All right, I'm trying. I'm training hard. I'm trying my best. Are you talking about me or someone else?
I would need that picture of you and I and Jamie. That would be a big clown picture to put over you.
Oh, good.
I don't know what.
I thought it was a really sweet sort of picture, but apparently I'm a clown.
I don't know. If you mess up the podcast and you get on and you start podcasting.
Hey, you train with me. You know that most of my moves are a clown anyway.
Maybe then we'd have to kick you out and add clown stickers to all the stuff that you were in.
How about a Sparkle Sash one?
You can get a Sparkle Sash
t-shirt.
I don't think I made it live, or maybe I did. I don't know.
My wife was probably the only person.
It might have just been a private item. I'm not sure.
Okay, if not, I am Sparkle Sash, the IDS instructor. The name was given to me by Todd Fosse, and yeah, that's my call sign, Sparkle Sash. I'd go into details, but it's not a very funny story. It's just not.
It's on there. It doesn't have its own tab. And I do have an IDS Citizen Defender tab where you can purchase certain pistols through us. And
get one.
I've got to add at least another t-shirt. I guess your Sparkle Sash t-shirt isn't tagged again with Citizen Defender, but I can put it in there. But there's only one t-shirt. I love making t-shirts and designs. I'll have to come up with another IDS t-shirt to add in there. Or actually, I was going to put an IDS rash guard for trying to grapple on the ground and like Matt burn on your elbow stinks. Trying to retain that firearm. So
it took a long time.
Check that stuff out. It'll help the podcast, help us out here.
Yeah.
If you need help with your gym, whatever it may be, hit me up, John at rmsdf.com. I'm here to help you. I've been doing this for way too long. No, I love it. It's not way too long. But
the man's never worked a day in his life.
Man, all the stuff I've learned over the years, and even just having an HR wife, has helped me tremendously over the last 10 years. So there's stuff that if you need mentoring, consulting, help with your gym, HR stuff, we can help you out. It's kind of part of the Clear Sky brand, is where I'm going as I maybe retire from teaching full time and pass the torch over to somebody else, and that's my Clear Sky brand, that I can offload RMSDF to somebody else and carry the torch down the line. So when I go to Turks and Caicos or wherever,
3 days. I give you 3 days.
I don't know.
3 days of retirement, and you'd be in the gym training.
No, I didn't say I was gonna not train, Josh.
3 days.
I just said I
retirement.
You'd
be back in here
running
24/7
full time. Oh, I'm gonna be training. That's a
given.
That's number one. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in here. We will talk to you guys next time. Comment anything you guys want to hear, want advice on. We're really here for you, and talk to what interests you, from the Citizen Defender, from fitness, to Krav Maga hand-to-hand fighting skills. Reach out to us. We will gladly talk about it on the podcast. All right, guys, take care. Stay safe out there. Do something nice today and train.